You're very welcome. I think your customer is potentially one of our biggest clients. I'm interested in the approach that we were discussing last night. I think I have to say it's probably the first time I've ever been audited myself.
Really? It's not really an audit, it's sort of a get to know you session so that I can get some understanding of how you view your system.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Could you give me some background to the company?
Yes, of course. As a colleague of the Sun, I was put basically in charge of the organisation. I was invited to join and create a brand new structure for a management team.
Did you get any help with this?
Yes, we ran a number of top team workshops facilitated by David Hutchins International, during which we actually developed the vision statement that you probably saw in the reception when you came in. And actually we have that here, of course. Now, following this, we created mission statements for each of the key drivers that you'll see here in the quality manual. Now, these were created using an affinity diagram method, and you can see in the manual that we identified 8 mission elements.
So you have 8 elements, that's interesting. I thought that balanced scorecards only suggested 4 elements.
Yeah, the balanced scorecard approach does actually state that, but there are obviously alternatives and there's certain flexibility. We can come to that in a minute, but basically you can have as many or as few elements as are relevant to your business and the department. And we fundamentally have identified 8. In fact, you can see we have customer, employees, suppliers, organisation, design and innovation, technology, process, and of course finance. And we've got mission statements for each of those. Now, from those, we created the quality objectives and metrics for each, although we originally called those key performance indicators.
I see. I notice that these are high level objectives. Improve the yields by 8%, reduce lost time accidents. These are fairly general. How can they be related to line management and the workforce?
This is where the affinity diagram method is really quite useful. Using that technique, we identified a total of 48 key quality objectives for the 8 mission elements. So you actually link the quality objectives right back to the vision? Yes, that's the only way that we can actually be sure that they are the most important issues for us to monitor and actually to improve.
That seems quite logical enough. Can you show me how the mission element is broken down into the quality objectives and then quantified?
Yes, of course, yes. For example, if you look at the mission element for our employees, you'll see on this page that it says to use the knowledge, skill and creativity of all our employees to make our business the best in the field and to be regarded as the most caring local employer. Now, for each of those items, the keywords knowledge and skill, etc., we identified specific measures for each of them. For example, in the case of employee care, one feature was safety. The measure we selected was average total working hours between lost time accidents. Now, we calculated at our current performance, we were running at about 850,000 man-hours. Now, we thought that was quite good until David Hutchins International actually informed us that they knew of companies who were achieving more than 5 million, and actually one that was achieving in excess of 9 million. It seemed hard to believe, but we checked it out and it's actually correct. That became a key quality objective, and if we were going to be regarded as a good employer in our local community, that's the sort of target we had to achieve.
So what did you do next?
Having identified the top level objectives, we used the Komatsu flagship approach. That cascades the quality objectives down through the organisation.
So how did that work?
First of all, we shared the top level goals that we had agreed with the next immediate level of management. They in turn had meetings with their direct reports in order to translate the objectives into the language of the relative departments. and they also at that point had the opportunity to add objectives of their own. We then vetted them for consistency, and the objectives were then formally agreed. And this was repeated at all levels until we actually reached the level of the workforce.
Can you show me an example?
Yes, of course. If you look here, this is the warehouse. At the highest level, we used the word yield. By that time, it actually got down to the workforce. The workforce in the warehouse had translated into shrink wrap damage, picking errors, stock shrinkage, broken pallets.
I see. When that happens, where there is a difference between the target for each of these and the current performances, what's done then?
Right, well, this is when we use our continuous improvement process. From my earlier experience, I knew that complex problems can't be solved generally because there'll be multiple causes, each with its own unique remedy. So, as you see, we used a structured approach.